for you. Most players would have raised pretty quickly with those aces, but Justin's sitting there and he's planning exactly what he's going to do.
Raise to 700.
Raise to 700.
Notice he's only made a 400 raise here. This is quite deliberate. The original raise was to 300. He knows that for 400 more, the one thing for certain is that Matt is going to call. Of course, if Matt's got a big hand, he could push. And that is exactly what Justin has tried to set up.
Call.
Well, this is like a masquerade ball. I mean, Justin just re-raised before the flop last hand with the ace-king. Nobody could expect him to have a big hand twice in a row. Here's the flop and trouble for Matt Thompson. His chips are at risk.
Small bet or check, I think.
It's a long way to Londonderry, but it's farther to Tipperary and Matt Thompson
800.
800.
could be in a bit of trouble if he decides to call this bet. And Simon, how can he fold?
No chance. He's done well not to push in before the flop, to be honest. He's took a chance to see the flop. He didn't want to see a king or an ace. There's no king or ace. He's got to think his overpair is good here.
Matt Thompson walking down that little path to nowhere. He's going to be drawing to 2 queens in the deck when these get
Another
flip-flopped.
75.
I call.
So Matthew is all in, playing against Justin. Justin shows pocket aces, there's a pair of aces, and Matthew shows pocket queens.
Pain etched on Matt Thompson's face. He's come all this way only to see
And Matthew
2
needs a queen
queens
on the
to
end.
save him.
The last card is a 3. No help for him. Losing to a straight. Matthew is our first player out.
Straight for Justin O'Shaughnessy, immaterial on the river. And Matt Thompson is our first player out. Simon, not a thing he could do.
9 out of 10 players would have moved in with those queens. He took a flop. Very unlucky to come up against one of the 2 hands that was beating him.
Last hand, I think there was no other option but go out on that really. You know, dealt pocket queens, he's dealt pocket aces. Nothing I could have done. Still played, raised, whatever. It was always going to come down and all in when it's short stack against big stack. So Justin's got a big lead there, and I think a lot of people are quite scared of him already. And myself was a bit fearful as well. So and then he hits the hands even when you do call him. So I think Justin's firm favourite.
Justin was already ahead with the higher pair, aces over queens, but then he made a straight with 2 to 5 hitting the board to go with his ace.
Pass. Pass.
Michael Clark here.
Raise to 150.
Call.
Call.
Clay is all over Michael, but Michael hasn't been scared. He's raising anyway, making the right moves, and we're going to see a flop here. Pocket pair versus the 2 overcards. 2-2 tangle.
Yeah, and we've already seen that Michael is more than willing to bet the flop if he's missed it in position.
Oh, he has not. 8s beat 7s at this stage.
Check. 250.
And this is a tester for Clay. He doesn't know where he's at, does he, Simon?
No, he decided to see a flop cheaply, and he won't like the fact that there's 2 overcards to his 7s. I've no doubt Clay's got a strategy here. He does not want to get involved in these early levels.
Well, if he gives it a bit of the boom-bah, how could Michael call?
Pass.
Pass.
Well, right you are, Simon. Clay laying it down, respecting the bet and raise. And Michael Clark, the bridge player, serving up a few trumps there. He might be a force to be reckoned with in this tournament.
To to be a good poker player, you need to be technically sound, of course, but also have good control of your emotions. And the psychology is perhaps overrated, but you need to be aware of what's going on around you. You can't just play your own game.
John looks, he places,
200.
bracelets
Raise to
knocked
200.
together, and well, I think he's just decided it's time to raise.
Yeah, I think so. It's a little
Pass.
image tester, I think. What I like to call an image tester.
Pass.
Put a little raise in with a couple of suited cards and see how the players react to you.
Rob looked like he's just eating a lemon or something. Ace king in a pocket.
Well, Rob, you must raise here. You've got the big blind behind you, is Justin O'Shaughnessy with thousands of chips. So you cannot afford to fat call and let him see this chip.
Call.
You're not listening, Rob. Well, Justin, it's not much more to call.
Pass.
Oh, come on.
You talked about image tester before, Simon.
Yeah.
Is it possible that Rob thinks he's up against a really big hand? I mean, basically, this is the first pot John's raised.
Pairs.
And hello, darling.
Check.
Pair
Check.
for both players, but Rob will love that flop.
300.
300.
It's a big bet.
Well, if he thought he was up against the big hand before the flop, he should have raised to find out. But now he's hit the flop. How's he going to play it?
Rob was sitting on 1,600. And Simon, if he makes a raise here, he's going to be committing like half his stack. There are a lot of hands out there that can beat him, aren't there?
Well, he's probably worrying that John's flopped a set here. But I wouldn't flat call. I think I'd put him to the test and raise.
Raise to 700.
Raise to 700.
Nice decision for John. He's opening the door, and will John slam it shut? Or will he take the hint? This is not easy for either player.
Well, I think John's put a bet in here to find out where he is, and he's had the answer, and he's going to call
Call.
and see if he can catch a queen or a heart draw.
This pot's huge. There's 1,800 pounds in there, and both of these players seem to be. Well, they're trying to reach. Oh, it's a queen.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm glad I'm not fitted with a heart monitor.
I do believe that Rob Price is about to have a trumpet blown out his backside.
I'm all in.
All in.
Well, this is amazing. I mean, John Shaw's made a call he shouldn't have made. Having made a bet and been raised, he should have been able to lay that queen down. And
900.
has he got lucky today?
975.
Come on, John, don't keep him in misery. I mean,
Easy come, easy go. Go.
wow.
Call.
Here we have Jesse. This is amazing. Just the second level,
John-
we have another all in.
The card hit the turn.
Rob
It was
is
John's card, and
975.
Rob is going to be sick as a dog. There's only 2 cards in the deck. No, 6 cards in the deck to get him out of this
Both players
mess.
are having the same amount of chips. Showdown. Ace king for Robert. Got 2 pairs, kings and queens. And,
3
John
queens,
shows
ugly
queen
as
5,
sin.
he has
Rob
trips,
Price can't
queen.
believe it.
He's in front.
Ace King about to go down in flames. Jack or King? No,
And the
it's
last
a
card is
duckling.
deuce, and trip queens wins. And Robert is our next player out.
This is the first sign of inexperience, unfortunately, for both these players. In effect, I mean, Rob is going to be thinking, I know I should have raised pre-flop. There's no way, obviously, John would have called.
And Rob Price from Bude. Hey, Bude.
I think I was playing against one of the weaker players. Maybe one of the stronger players would have ditched the Queen 5 because they would recognise that I had a big hand out of the small blind. I think I took quite a bit from the game. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't stay in a bit longer, more so to play against the 2 best players, Clay and Justin. Hopefully I'll be on camera again and it won't be quite so nerve-wracking, but it's all an experience and it's all new to me. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, really.
You're watching the 6th heat of Late Night Poker Ace. Jesse May and Simon Trumper here. 4 players left, all hoping to get a shot at the first prize. That lifestyle package worth £50,000. John looks cool as a